This is video number 9 for our CFIN configuration. It is in continuation with other videos. So I will just give you a fair overview where we are till now, what all things we have been covered. So we have covered system setup, we have covered mapping, we have covered cost object mapping, we have covered enhanced mapping entities. We have talked about in the last video, we talked about clearing, transfer and consistency check. So in this particular video, we will be talking about initial load settings, focusing on initial load. So we have now reached the tip point. And then in the next other videos, we will be talking about the management accounting setup preparation and financial accounting execution. So before I start the configuration part, I would recommend, if you want to understand the set concept of initial load, do not forget to look other videos. And I think that's very important that before you jump to the configuration, you should be aware of the concept of initial load, what initial load is, why it is needed, when it is done, what are the options available to the customer. So those are very important aspects before we talk about configuration. And once you are comfortable with the concept, then for sure, you should be aware of what configuration is. So in terms of configuration, the first point is choose logical system, where we define the logical system on the source system, and then we include all the systems here. It may be one, it may be two, it may be 30, 40, depending again on the size of the company you are working, and depending again, the number of systems they own. And then package size is something standard SAP gives a number, but that's something I would not recommend. I would say talk to your basis consultant, and based on your system parameters, you should choose the size of the package. Next very important activity is defining clearing and substitution account. So definition of clearing account is migration clearing account is very simple. In traditional ERP project, we used to have set of every migration project, we used to have a clearing account, where what we do is which help us to make the balance migration, and then we make things at the end the account is zero. So what we do is we take all the asset values against each asset account, and we debit those and we credit the clearing account. Similarly, we took all the liabilities, we credit them, and debit side we use the migration clearing account. At the end, assets and liabilities are matched and the clearing account comes to zero. So this used to be done in traditional ERP project when we used to do data migration manually through LSMWs. Here also we require exactly same concept, and per company code we define one migration clearing account, and when initial load happens, initial load also to migrate balances and open items. And it again depends again how much balance and how much open items you want to need, which month, and how many months of data you're looking for. But at the end, when this migration activity happens, this account comes to be zero automatically. So you require one account at a company code level. And once you have defined this account, the next step is define substitution account. So you define substitution account for every open item managed account, for every reconciliation account in the system, in the source system. So there is an every reconciliation account on the left hand side if you see, and then there is substitution account in front. Of course, you can define the group of reconciliation account and against one substitution account. It's up to your choice, but yes, that's needed. And if you see here, we have company code at the top, we have a reconciliation account, and then we have a substitution account. One or multiple, it again depends on the choice you make, but this step is mandatory. You need to have one substitution account. At the end, this account will also be just used as a temporary substitution when system migrates the open items. At the end, this account will also be coming to zero. So that's very important that you understand this concept, and we are discussing again the preparatory activities for initial load. And I would repeat that before you listen to this video, do not forget to listen to other videos which are very relevant on initial load, which talks about FI initial load, CO initial load, what are the initial load, what is the meaning of initial load, why we do initial load. So those are very important concepts. And the last part for this configuration is initial load setting is the reducing the package size for balance load. So what happens is when SAP runs the initial load, it bundles the documents in the source system into different packages. And the package size depends again on the criteria, is automatically driven. In one package there might be 100 documents, in another package there might be 400 documents, and that's automatically SAP built it. So you may need to filter those or reduce the size of the package, so that because if the package fails or the error comes in the document, you need long time to reprocess the package. So in that case, what you can do is you can add the logical system in particular field, and which field you want to, field name in the totals table. So which field you want to make the select, and based on that, system will reduce the package size. It will read this field, and based on this particular field, it will group the document. So it will reduce the package size. For example, package size was supposed to be 100, but now because you reduce this, you add this configuration, it will reduce it to 35. So from functionality perspective, doesn't change anything. Posting will still happen. The only thing is it makes system performance friendly. So that's from performance side only. It's an optional configuration, you do or you don't do. Even if you don't do, it doesn't harm. But if you do, it makes system more beneficial and faster in the initial load processing. So that's about initial load settings. We discussed on logical system, clearing and substitution account, and reducing package size. In next video, we will be talking about initial load preparation for management accounting, and then subsequently we will jump to initial load execution for financial accounting. So that's how the videos will be organized, and stay tuned for coming videos, and do not forget to like, subscribe and share the channel. We have now 10 videos on central finance configuration, along with almost 40 videos on almost 40 plus videos on central finance specific topic, which talk about the theoretical aspects. So if you see here video number 6, we have initial load in central finance, which I would refer. You should go through it along with CO, controlling initial load groups in video number 24. So that's what I would recommend, to still go through it so that you get the overview and understanding of what is initial load. Thank you so much for today, and do not forget to put your comments in the YouTube comment section. I would be very happy to address the questions. Thank you.